fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're just freaked out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Carter, or as the people at UA know him by, Bruce Holmes. Now, during the USJ attack, Momo failed Izuku Carter's test. Midoriya wanted to see if she was truly ready to become something she isn't, a killer. And well, she was holding herself back. She didn't have the right motivation. But the moment that opportunity came knocking, she failed to actually answer the door. She had a clear shot on Shigaraki, and she didn't take it. However, Shigaraki was still shot by a pro hero. And Midoriya, he did grab the gun from out of her hand. And shortly afterwards, after leaving UA, she did collapse crying. As we do have outside the front door of UA, or on a bench, where Momo, she still feels like she could have done more. She hasn't even changed out of her hero costume. And Izuku is just sitting there with her, as he does try and at least console her. As he does actually put a hand on her shoulder, telling her that everything will be alright. Her actually going to throw Midoriya's hand off of her, looking at him with tears in her eyes, saying that it can't be alright. Look at everything that has happened. Look at this. That man murdered their classmates, and she feels like she could have done something. And how this isn't what she wanted. This life that he's preparing her for, it's not the one she wants to live. She understands it. She's training for it, yes. But she's also scared. Midoriya just looking at her, as he does just do one thing. He actually does break through his shell. For the first time in a minute, Midoriya can feel emotion. And he understands what Momo might be going through. The loss of friends. And he actually does just wrap his arms around her, pulling her into a hug. Her still weeping and actually trying to pull away from Midoriya, telling him to let her go. As Momo, she actually does feel something wet on her shoulder. Midoriya just saying that he's going to miss them too. And she actually does at least stop fighting for a minute, wrapping her own arms around Midoriya as he does continue speaking. You think that your life is tough? I understand it. I've lived it. My own mother abandoned me, all because I didn't have a quirk. Then, after that, where was I? I was on the streets eating from trash cans, stealing a candy bar just to get by. A man kicked the shit out of me one day just because I stole something. I stole a small container, stuffed one of the bars in my pants. Got away. Pretty sure he broke one of my ribs. Still only got away with one candy bar. Then I was taken to an orphanage. Nobody wanted me there either. And well, I was just angry. angry at everything. The nuns, the other kids, they had spectacular abilities. Even they weren't wanted. And there was I with nothing. The day my mother walked into that orphanage was the day my life changed forever. I felt wanted. I felt happy. Yayarozu, you think your life is hard. I murdered my first person at the age of 6 years old. Another person training with me. I just snapped. Went crazy. I don't remember. It's just red, okay? You think losing people is hard? Half the people I know from whenever I was a kid are probably dead. And the other half, they're around the world, risking their own lives. It wasn't just that. People keep trying to ridicule me for this shit. But, well, I don't know. Killing used to give me such a feeling. Just to let loose all these anger, this emotion, everything I want to repress about my own self. I just dive into my work. That's all I really do. Just to get away from everything. Just for that split second of not thinking, just reacting and doing things. Roya pulling away. As Yax does, go to bring his hand over his mouth. Realizing that, he said too much. Momo just staring at him blankly. Before she does, just grab him and hold on to him, asking him if it ever gets easier. To which Midoriya just stays silent. Now, he does at least try to provide her with something. The pain never goes away, but it's more manageable. However, if you just sit down and shut down here, you're gonna get nowhere. You have to keep your head up, keep moving and keep busy. Now, I'm assuming there's a contract you want me to do. Her actually pulling back from Midoriya and looking up at him. Now that she's looking at him a bit closer, she realizes all the time he spent training her. He's barely, what, just her age. Probably just a little younger, a little older. Shit. He's just like her, a kid. A kid pulled into the underworld. Fuck. How did our lives get so fucked up? Now that's something I can't even answer. But, well, you have a contract you want me to fulfill, right? Yes, I do. But I don't want you to fulfill it alone. Hmm? Yes. I want you to... I want us to kill the League of Villains. Alright. Good. Good. You're making progress. Now, Midoriya does actually go to stand up and tell Momo that he'll pull the car around, as she actually does reach out and grab at his hand. Midoriya actually turning around and looking down at her, as she does go to open her mouth to say something, but no words come out, and she does simply just let go for a minute. Midoriya actually asking her if she would like to come with him. She does stand up and they both do walk away. Now, Midoriya is aware that he does need to call All For One. And in fact, if he's able to meet with All For One, get that quirk, he can then turn around and talk to Mr. Yaoyorozu. Along with, well, at least trying to figure out a way to get out of his contract. Something that would be easy and simple. Now, with that all being said, I do want to say we do have the following week, where UA, they are announcing a memorial service for the dead students. And well, they do want to hold the sports festival as a way to pay tribute. However, some of the students do announce that they will not be able to participate. And Miss Midnight does go on stating that that is perfectly fine. However, they do need some in the class to at least be there in attendance. Now, by this point, Midoriya has already met with All For One and gotten the quirk. That does allow him to at least manipulate his body. Now, he is still trying to understand it. The way his body is currently, his tattoos won't be visible for another couple of days. And, well, with this new quirk, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. Now, with that being said, it is announced that Miss Yaoyorozu is going on a trip. Midoriya will be absent from school for the time being, and some of the other students will be as well. As we do pick up with roughly over the course of the 2 weeks. Midoriya is getting everything together for Miss Yaoyorozu, along with talking with Mr. Yaoyorozu and explaining the current situation. To which he did actually explain that if she does want to go through with this, she will have to see it through to the end. However, Midoriya is aware of one certain circumstance, correct? Yes, sir. That's good. You still have that contract with All For One, do you not? Yeah. It was already fulfilled and done. I see. However, there's just a small little problem. He's trying to hire you again. What? You can't be serious. I am, Izuku Carter. Now listen to me. The High Table has valued your service and your continued service. However, we do find this task difficult. Task? Yes. We've considered bringing in the other hitmen that were there. And I do hope that Miss Yaoyorozu is prepared to meet her new compatriots, or companions. Now, along with that, you do need to fulfill this contract. But she needs to be the one who pulls the trigger. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Now, if my daughter is not the one to get the kill, there will be a problem. She wants to take down All For One. And Tomura Shigaraki. Yes, sir. But I'm just confused. What's so difficult about letting her kill him? Well, that is because he helped to found the High Table. What? Yes. All For One. I'm saying his real name. Talking about how, whenever Quarks first came into existence, he gained power. And it wasn't somewhere until between the second and first generation that the High Table was established. Whenever he was there, he was the first one around. And the High Table themselves do have members who date back to that time. However, those members have recently retired, and will not elaborate further on their involvement with All For One. So, he does need to understand. If they do kill All For One, people might be after them. And this might cause a domino effect that he will be ready to protect his daughter from. However, he cannot say the same for Izuku. Midoriya confirming that he understands, talking about how he already has a domino effect happening to him. Ever since the first day he killed somebody, it started. He just hasn't been crushed by that giant wave yet. Now, with that all being said, Midoriya does explain to Momo about this. She is going to be meeting some more hitmen that were hired by her father. Her actually ready, saying that she does understand. As Midoriya does open her front door. And there stands our 5 members of Class 1A. Now, this does actually surprise Momo. Wait, you're joking, right? No, Miss Yagirozu. Kirishima does go on stating. All 5 of them confirming to her that they are all continental, before swiftly bowing. And then Toru actually just walk up, talking about how, hello, she is Toru Hagakure, and she has been in charge of protecting her whenever she is actually out in public. Toru, or Momo, confused as Midoriya does explain the incident that happened a few months ago, saying that that's whenever they first met. She was actually there in the library, and she was actually tailing Miss Intelli. Yes, it was. Now, I also do look after you, Miss Yagirozu. In fact, well, I was kind of disappointed to hear that you did fail. Fail? Now, Toru does explain the test that her father was putting her through. Her saying that she does understand, and that they do need to get all prepared. So, they are going to be taking the rest of the year off, killing off one, and making sure that he is defeated. Now, we actually do pick up with one of the nights after all this is said and done, where we have the memorial service UA is hosting. As multiple students who did actually attend, they did not seem to be in very high spirits. However, they are trying to keep their heads up. Mr. Nezu did give a public statement, along with Miss Midnight, who is currently still at least recovering in the hospital. Multiple villains were able to attack her, and she did actually suffer from some bullet wounds, along with actually at least some burns. She tried her hardest, and she does still feel bad about everything that has happened, blaming herself about all of this. Now, at the memorial service, everyone in attendance for Class 1A, they are all shedding tears for their fallen friends. And some people are actually talking about Mineta and Asui, some of the good times they did have, along with actually some little funny things both the two did do. Now, as Midoriya and Momo are both standing there, Momo actually does go to grab his hand. Midoriya actually surprised by this, as he does actually just take her hand and give her a light squeeze, letting her know that everything will be alright. Now, along with that, we do have Toru, who does actually grab Midoriya by his other hand, and she actually does begin to tap on it. Now, Midoriya didn't pay much attention to this, until he did realize she was tapping in Morse code. And he actually did just listen to what she was trying to say, as he's spelling out the letters in his head. Now, what she's basically saying is, we are being tracked, and that there's somebody here who's going to try and get at them. So, they need to be careful and split up. Now, she also is doing this with her other hand, informing Kirishima about this. Kirishima then actually is grabbing Mina's hand and passing on the message. Her doing so to Denki. Now, with that being said, people do go to leave, and the ones who do stick around after the service, they do not witness what happens next. Whenever Deku and these 5 do walk out. Now, Midoriya, he does simply just explain. They can all get in his car. However, it's going to be a bit cramped. Don't worry about it. I got mine here too. Oh yeah. Trust me. She's got some horsepower and she's got some kick. She can compete with anything you got. Really? What you got? Oh, nothing, just an old Chevelle. Old Chevelle, really? I got myself an old Shelby. Ooh, those are nice. I'm guessing it's built for defense? Damn straight. Midoriya and Kirishima giving each other a light fist bump, as they do split up. As they do at least have a meeting location set. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, Momo, and Toru do go to leave for his car. And while Kirishima, him, Mina, Ochako, and Denki do head for his car. Now, with that being said, whenever they're on the way there, Midoriya actually does spot one of the people out of the corner of his eye, as he does go to pull a gun that does have a suppressor on it, and he does fire. The moment he does, he actually does hit his target as the person falls off of the place they're at. Before currently, at least, more people jumping up and over and revealing themselves, as they all do pull out old swords and throwing weapons. Midoriya has seen that he has, as he actually does, track the path of something out of the corner of his eye, throwing up his hand and firing a bullet, hitting somebody who was right next to them, as he does tell them to run for his car, and he takes off into a sprint. Now, they all do get to Midoriya's car. Midoriya unlocking it as Toru does throw open the front door, or throw open the side door, and Momo jumps in the back. The moment that does happen, Toru gets in the passenger seat, looking around for a gun, asking Midoriya where it is as he's backing up and firing. Him telling her that there's a compact in the glove compartment. Her punching the button and pulling it out, as she just begins to start firing, as Midoriya is able to turn around and open his car door. As he does so, he slams the door closed, and Toru does jump in. And she actually does go to reach for a magazine and reload, as she pulls her door closed, asking Midoriya what's their next step. Oh, trust me, this little beauty right here, she's a fortress. Now is not the time to be bragging about your car. Bragging? Oh no, I'm not. Midoriya throwing it in the first, as he does actually just turn it over, revving the engine as the lights do come on, seeing that there's about 20 people in front of them. Now, these people, they do proceed to do one simple thing. They try and use their throwing weapons against the car, expecting anything to happen. Somebody actually throwing a large samurai sword directly at Midoriya. Midoriya just sitting there as it actually does hit against the glass, and doesn't even scratch it. It's just being sent flying away. Midoriya revving the engine more as he just throws it down and pulls up on... What is it? Shit. Pulls up on the pedal, as the car moves forwards fast. Midoriya slamming into a bunch of these people, as people try and grab onto the car and hang on. As Midoriya he goes smashing through a metal fence. Now, he does that along with actually driving over a car and slamming the car down onto the street as he begins to start making his way there. Midoriya asking Toru to radio or call Kirishima. Her actually pulling up her phone and doing so. As she does ask Kirishima for his location. To which he does reveal that he just hopped on the highway. And that those samurai guys aren't the only ones after them. How do you know? Because there's a guy loading a machine gun out behind us. Shit. Alright, which highway are you on? Him saying this highway and this highway. Let's say for the sake of it, random numbers, 87 and 42. Or 87 and 89. Now, with that being said, Midoriya actually does start to make his way there, as he's speeding fast. And eventually, after 2 to 3 minutes, Midoriya does begin to at least see what's going on up front. As they're speeding forwards, Toru asks Midoriya if he's got anything that can help them. Well, I got a few ideas. The person in the machine gun actually looking behind them, as a guy with a gun that is actually going to try and unload it into the car. Toru going to duck down as Midoriya just still is driving, as he just slams the pedal down more and goes into 4th gear. As he does do that, he actually does slam into the back of the truck, the man actually falling forwards onto Midoriya's hood. Midoriya pulling the car left, and the man gets sent flying off and being hit by a car on the highway. As he actually does go back behind the vehicle and goes to slam into it once again. Them asking what his plan is, as the man with a giant machine gun tries to unload into the bulletproof glass on Midoriya's car, alongside actually trying to shoot out the engine. Midoriya explaining, as he actually does go to grab at the middle or the place right underneath his radio. Him actually pulling it out and revealing what appears to be a combat system. As he actually does press a button. Now, they do actually hear something, what sounds like a latch. Midoriya fired a hook directly from right underneath the front of his car into the back axle of this truck. As he then actually does do one thing. He does just hold the button down as he does slow down. Then being able to see the wire as Midoriya does then turn and drive around. As he does so, the vehicle actually does begin to get moved differently. Midoriya actually then waiting for it, and slamming down on a button, as the hook underneath his car slams right down into the middle of the highway. The truck, as it is moving, has the axle pulled out from underneath it. And the man on the machine gun gets sent flying, as the truck does go to flip over. Now, with that being said, Midoriya actually has speed up. And Toru tells Deku that he's a fucking madman. Oh please, you haven't even seen a fifth of what this baby can do. Midoriya is saying that he at least dropped 10 million into the car. Jesus! All you guys like that car fanatics? Please, this baby just saved your ass. Midoriya then actually pulling up right next to Kirishima, who is in a slick red Cherry Chevelle. Him actually just looking over at Deku, as he does at least start laughing. Midoriya just smiling, as the two do actually pay attention to in front of them, as more vehicles do try to descend on their locations. Now, Midoriya, he does actually just tell Toru to look at these buttons. Press them in the order he does say. Him saying 3, 5, and then 2. Now, Midoriya, he actually does tell Kirishima to pull in front of them. Kirishima saying no. He thinks that he's the only one with a souped up car. Oh please, this baby can outrun your fucking old shit wheels in any day. Doubt it. You wanna put that to the test? Hang on. Toru pushing the buttons, an oil slick being deployed, and, well, steel spikes also being deployed. Them dropping out of the back of Midoriya's car. As the vehicles behind them, they all do start to spin out, and the tires do pop. Certain cars flipping over, as Midoriya also does deploy a gasoline trail. Now, the trail for the gasoline, it does run underneath the vehicle until it's empty, and then a small pop can be heard. As soon as that pop is heard, we actually do have Momo who does look behind them, watching as the gasoline's on fire. Midoriya, what did that just do? Or Carter, what did you just do? Kirishima actually looking behind them and watching this happen, as a large explosion is heard. Him actually screaming out, "Whoo!" over the comms. And Midoriya does say that now they can race, as the two do eventually hit the end of the highway and flip around. Now, both of them are just revving their engines and waiting. Something is about to happen. Someone's going to descend on them any minute. This is far from over. Toru looking at Izuku and telling him that this is all crazy. He knows that, right? Oh, fuck yeah. But at the same time, this is the most fun I've had ever since I stole this car. Wait, you stole this car? Oh, hell yeah. Years ago. Besides, it was a total investment. Huh, I know what you mean. I almost got stuck with a shitbox. Tch. Hell, that's what I thought with this thing. Now, both the two do take off, after military vehicles are coming out from behind them. And Kirishima does actually deploy his own little secret weapon, as a tire trap is deployed. It actually falling out from underneath the car and flying open. The moment it does, all the vehicles that do drive over it have their tires and, well, everything just torn to high shreds. As he then also does at least drop a few buttons, and mines fall onto the road. Now, Midoriya and Kirishima are relatively keeping up with one another. Midoriya slamming his car into fourth gear, as Kirishima does actually do the same thing. And both of them are going at roughly 110 down the highway. Midoriya looking over at Kirishima. Kirishima just looking at Midoriya. As we do have Denki in the passenger seat of Kirishima's car, who's just telling him to hit the nos already. Give me a minute. Him actually slamming down into fifth gear a bit early, and pulling slightly ahead of Midoriya. As soon as it does happen, he slams the button underneath his dash and decides to use his nitrous. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he slams down into fifth gear and slams up into his nitrous too. The moment he does so, he goes flying forwards, and so does Kirishima. Midoriya's car barely pulling ahead as the two do look up in front of them, and see the oncoming roadblock. Now, Midoriya, he just looks over, and Kirishima looks over at him, as he says that they need to get a bit closer, don't they? Yeah, punch through the thing, right? Oh, fuck yeah. Now, Momo buckles up, and then buckles up some more, as these two slam their cars into one another as they punch through the giant roadblock. And they would later escape. All the pursuers who were after them are either killed, injured, or are left with non-working vehicles. And they cannot catch up. And it is deemed better to just let them get away for right now. A continued pursuit would involve police involvement and even more death, since they didn't prepare for souped up muscle cars. A classic movie trope that really any secret underground assassin association should be ready for. Anyways, now, I do hope you guys enjoyed, because I really enjoyed recording this. I don't know why. Anyway, guys, goodbye. Good night.